So, good evening, guys, and welcome along to the live stream tonight. Chatting with RB, and just a couple of quick things that we're going to do tonight while we're waiting for the guys to obviously get here. Chinese bikes, they hype or a good bike? So, leave your comments in the side chat below, and then obviously we can cover all of those. Now, obviously, we are an Lexmoto dealer. Good points, bad points. I tend to be very unbiased in my views. So we're just going to pop through, obviously, some of the stuff that we do. And I'm going to share a couple of screens out with you. So we're going to go into this first, just to start up. And we're going to share the screen on this one. So the first one that we're going to share up, we're going to go into some of the tabs that we've got. So the new Lexmoto 125, the Learner Legal. So this is the new version of the LXR. So it just tells you a little bit about the bike. Now it's got a brand new engine in this. It's got the 158 MI2P engine in it, and that's generating 12.5 horsepower, 9.3 kilowatts at 9,000 RPM. When you actually go into some of the spec on this, and we're going to just check out the spec on this one. So we're just going to flip across to the other screen on that. We'll just get rid of that one. And we'll click across to this one. So I'll show you the spec on the opposite side that we've got on this one. So we share the screen up on that one. And this is the difference in horsepower on the older Lexmoto. So you're 500 RPMs down, and you're also 0.4 of a horsepower up. So you're actually saving on the new LXR. Your revs are down, your horsepower is up. And on this one, we've got the Zhongsheng engine. So the Zhongsheng engine was what they used originally on that one. So very couple of comparisons there, just to let you know what obviously that bike does. Now, if you've seen the two rides, we've got another video that's going up hopefully in the next couple of hours. And we'll just compare it. Where we actually took the original LXRs. Now, I've been riding the original LXRs for a couple of years out. New LXR came into us on Thursday. We did the video on Friday, and we got that bike up and did a couple of rides on it. But it's a totally different bike. Gearbox is really smooth. It's got a 6-speed box compared to the 5. It actually pulls through the gears a lot quicker on that one. And it's a much refined bike. So obviously for the extra £300, and people are saying, yeah, but for the extra £300, could we not just stick with the original LXR? Yes, you can. But if you've got that extra bang for the buck, you are going to get so much more bike for your money. Very good bike. Is it a good? Is it bad? Yes, it's good. So are Chinese bikes a hype, or are they a good bike? As a first starter bike, and obviously mum and dad, if they're paying for it, or you saved up your hard-earned savings, do you really want to be sending £4,000 first bike out of the backs, looking to say 17, and you're going to move up to a bigger bike obviously in a couple of years time? Do you really want to be spending a lot of money when you get into a bigger bike? No. The simple reason is keep it cheap, keep it cheerful, and get yourself, there are a lot of Chinese bikes out there. You've got things like Direct Bikes, the scooters, you've got the Lexmoto brand, you've got Keyway, Sim, you've got all those different brands out there that do really good bikes. At the end of the day, it is down to servicing, maintenance, and looking after your bike. Now, obviously, I'm not going to try and slag off youngsters, but most 17-year-olds have got no basic mechanical knowledge. What they're going to do, they've seen videos, they've seen all the stuff on the YouTube, they've followed everything. What they're going to do is jump straight on that bike, and they're going to be, I want to go see how fast this bike can go. You're going to rag it straight out of the box. Ragging a bike straight out of the box is not going to do that engine any good. So what we would always say is make sure that you keep in with your running in procedure. Now, with the Lexmoto, there is a very strict running in procedure. So that running in procedure is 40 mile an hour for the first 500 kilometers, 311 miles. Once you have your first service, get that out of the way, then you're good to go 50 mile an hour, 55 tops. That will take you up to 1,500 kilometers, 932 miles. Then you have your second service, then you are good to go and open that bike up. Longevity of the bikes is another thing that people go, oh yeah, but they're only good for a couple of years because they rot like absolutely anything. Yes, any bike will rot. If you're going to get a thing wet, you're going to leave it outside, you're going to leave it covered in all that road dirt, road salt, any bike will rock, whether it's a main brand Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, or Yamaha, or if it's a cheap Chinese bike. Obviously, the metals are slightly different. The thing is, with any bike, give it a good coat of ACF 50. Now, the ACF 50 compound that we keep banging on about in all my videos is an anti-corrosion spray. Now, I can vouch for this stuff. It's really, really good. I've got a 96 Kawasaki, sits in the back garden. It's got no cover over it. It sits out in all weathers. There is not a spot of rust on that, because every weekend that goes out and it gets covered in a good coat of ACF 50. So if you want to get into it, hey, Salty, very, very welcome to see you. If you want to jump in on the live stream, StreamYard's up the top, buddy. Come and jump in. I'm just sort of covering the first part of the show on my own, and just telling people about, obviously, the Chinese bikes. Is it a hype, or is it a big Ferrari, as to, do I buy a Chinese bike? So we're just covering that at the moment. But obviously, if you are buying Chinese bikes, yes, they are good for the money. They are cheap. They are cheerful. They get you from A to B, and they are very cost effective. You're looking about 100 miles to the gallon out of one of them. The road tax in the UK, £20 a year. And if you're looking at your insurance, new rider, 17, 18, you could be anywhere between 500 to 2,000, depending on your location, your experience, and how much you've obviously done on bike riding. So it's each to their own on that. But if I'm saying, if you are, obviously looking for get yourself a first bike, start cheap, start cheerful. You don't want to be going spending £3,000-4,000 on your first bike if you're only going to have it for a couple of years. So obviously, when I was younger, and we're going to cut back to that, 80s and 90s, they had two main brands out, which was the Honda SS50, and most of the 16, 17-year-olds had the Yamaha FS1E. Now, FS1Es go for about £16,000 now. They are as rare as rocking horses, but everybody had one of those. Some of us had Puig Maxis, pedal along scooters. Didn't want to spend a load of money on those. I ended up with a Puig Maxi. 17, got my first big bike. So I literally had a £100 bike. It did me, went from A to B, 20 miles a day, done the job. Got myself 17, and I went out and got myself a 250. Now, back in sort of the 80s, you could go straight to 250. Obviously, nowadays, everybody's restricted to 125, and you're allowed 14 horsepower. But Chinese bikes, yes, they are a very, very good buy if you maintain them, if you service them, and if you keep the speed low and run the bike incorrectly. Any bike straight out the crate, ragged absolutely to its limits, you're going to get piston wear, you're going to get ball wear, you're going to get blue into the cylinders. Your bike is not going to last you 5 minutes. And DJ Reacts, yeah, love my Assault. Great bike. Lovely little 1.2 bike. I've done loads and loads of reviews on them. Obviously, I am very unbiased in my views of Lexmoto. The first couple of rides that I did the Assault and the Iska, and I absolutely slated the bike. I did not like the tank design. If you actually look at the Assault and the Iska, they've got that very partial opening. So you've got the flares on the front of the tank. And I did say in a lot of my videos, I don't like this bike. The tank looks like a ladybird opening its wings. It's very, very similar to a ladybird opening its wings. And the Lexmoto, I absolutely hated it. 2 or 3 rides in, I was like, do you know what? I really like this, because those extra flares on the tank deflect the wind off your knees, and the extra wind coming down the center of the bike actually stabilizes the bike a lot better. So the new Lexmoto Iska and the Assault, brilliant bikes, absolutely perfect. And just to obviously tell you, we've got a customer that's got an Iska, and he came in for his service 2 weeks ago, and he's just racked up in the first year and a half 7,500 kilometers and not had one issue. Though obviously at Eclipse Motorcycles, we have done 131 motorcycles last year. One bike came back. That one bike that did come back was where the customer decided to get underneath and fiddle with the headlights, pull all the connectors apart, try and find a live so he could put a louder horn on it. If you are going to start fiddling with a bike, I always say, if it's not broke, don't fix it. If you are going to try putting extra bits on your bike, go to the garage, speak to the mechanics and say, look, I'm fitting at this. This is what I want to put on my bike. Could you do it? Could you give me a price? Or could you give me some pointers as to how I do it? Another big thing that we get is chain tensions. The amount of riders that we get in on first or second services, the chain is absolutely flapping around like a lunatic. And there are hundreds and hundreds of videos out there where you can actually get online and how to tighten your chain and how to lubricate your chain. So a couple of quick mentions there. Hi Joker, hi Max D, hi DJ Reacts, hi Metal Motive. If you want to jump on the live stream, StreamYard link is at the top. Come join me on the show. You're very welcome to do so. Yeah, used to be able to buy a good scooter. I do remember the Little Woods catalogues back in the 80s and 90s where you could go and buy a scooter for like 700 quid. Quick one from Maxi. Hi, mate, 34 now, just getting back into riding, doing my CB Tower. And he's looking for a Lex motorbike. So let me just put that up for you. What Lex motorbike should I get? I don't want to look stupid. It depends what you're into. So if you're into more of an upright tourer, Iska Assault, the best one of the bunch, and I tend to find it is the cheapest one of the lot, is the ZSB. It is a great starter bike, 5-speed box. One of our riders, if you actually look at a couple of my old videos where we do the runs, every Sunday we normally do a run to Super Sausage, and we're actually out with Kirsty. Now, she came down to us, and obviously Shelley, that's on the Lex Moto Owners Club, she's got a ZSXF, constantly posting on there. Her friend Kirsty actually came down and bought the ZSB from us, absolutely loved it, and she's done quite a few rides to us with the Super Sausage. Loved the bike until a couple of oiks decided they wanted to pinch her bike, and she's actually looking for a new one at the moment. So we're trying to source her a second-hand bike until she obviously gets to the age where she can go up in gears and get herself a bigger bike. But have a look at the range. I'd always say never ever go by a photo. All these dealers can put the best looking photos. We do quite a lot of really good photos because obviously our guys that take the photos and we do the blogs, we tend to be a little bit OTT on what we do. But if you do want to get a bike, and I always say, and all the guys, especially Andy, so Andy's in, welcome Andy, I hope you're loving your Assault. So Andy is one of our customers. He came down, had a look at the Assault. What we'd always say to our customers is come down, have a viewing of the bike, sit on the bike, try it for size. It's not till you actually sit on the bike, you know if that bike is going to be for you. So you could buy something other end of the country. I want to buy an Iska, I want to buy an Assault. You get it down, you can't touch the ground, or it feels totally unnatural to you. So sit on the bike, try it for size, have a chat with the dealer. Now, the one thing that I do get, obviously, a lot of people do watch the videos from Eclipse Motorcycles and they say, oh yeah, but why do you take 2 to 3 weeks to get a bike ready? We do a very, very extensive ride and testing on these bikes. So if you look at any of my videos, which is one of the things that we do for customers that no other dealer, I don't think, does the live videos, but obviously we do. So we would get a bike in. First thing we're going to do is that 70-point bolt check. We're going to go round the bike and check absolutely every bolt on there. It will then go from that first mechanic across to me, where I will put 10K on the bike. Then goes across to the owner of the business, Phil, who's going to do his QC. It will then come back again. If we do find anything, we'll have another PDI, another bolt check, and then a final ride test from me before we go and register the bike. That will take us 2 weeks. Simple reason being, if we find a problem with the bike, you're not going to get that bike repaired or the parts in a couple of days, which other dealers are doing. Now, obviously, other dealers do prep the bikes early. They'll get out, they'll ride test the bikes, and they will obviously try and turn that bike around. But most dealers will be thinking, that's money. The quicker you can turn the bike around, the more bikes you get out the door, the more profit you're going to be making. It's not about that. The one thing that we do, obviously, at Eclipse Motorcycles, customer satisfaction, make sure that the customer is absolutely happy. And the last thing we want is that bike coming back 3 or 4 days later. I've got a problem with my bike, because every time that bike comes in, it's costing us labour time, it's costing us parts, and it's costing us downtime in the garage. And every time a warranty claim comes back, you're going to be losing money on that bike. So your profit margin on that bike is going to be devaluing until you'll start going into negative figures. So the less times you have a bike back, hence why we do such a long PDI procedure on these bikes. Hey, Jim, good to see you. He's got his RSV, yeah. So, Jim, if you want to pop in, the link is up there for the StreamYard. If you want to pop in, mate, I'll drop the link up on the stream again. So if anybody that wants to pop into the stream on this, let me just grab that and post that back up again. So StreamYard links there. Anybody wants to come and join me. We're going to go through some of these comments that we've got here. Let me just find where we are. So just pay down on the Tempest GT. You have made the right decision. I've actually had two Tempest GTs that came in a couple of weeks ago. One of the customers wanted to look at the Iska. One of the customers wanted to look at the Assault. They've looked at the red and black Tempest GT, and both of them have decided to go for the Tempest GT. A little bit more money, but if you've seen my ride video on the Tempest GT, that is a really brappy bike that spits, that pops, that bangs, it flamethrowers. It's a really nice system that Lexmoto have put on that Tempest GT. The original Tempest was good. It's got the quite high side pipe, but obviously the Tempest GT has got the lower pipes on it. Have the Assault. Let's just go through some of these comments. So, love the Michigans. Thanks very much, Joe. Good video helped me go for one. So, thank you very much for your comments. We've actually had a customer that's come in today, and she doesn't mind me mentioning it, Mandy. She's about 5'2", so she's a really small rider, sat on the Michigan. Now, obviously, the Michigan old version, 2020, is about 25 mil lower than the new version of the Michigan. The Michigan is slightly higher in the seat. So obviously, if you're a female rider or a short-legged rider, go for the 2020 version. The new Michigan, there is a slight change in the seat height, but it's still comfortable. It's still acceptable. But when she obviously sat on the bike, her arms are like this. And she said, is there any way that we can lower the bars? I said, what you need to do is obviously go and have a chat with Tins on Tour. Have a look at Faye's bike. Faye had actually gone for the lower bars on her bike. So we're trying to source her a set of bars. And hopefully she's going to be happy with her reaction. So that Michigan's gone out today. DJ Reacts. So I have the Assault. And then when I wash it, let's just have a quick look at this one. I don't use a hose pipe, but it's okay to use a bike to wash the bike down. I'll keep the 2-bucket method. What I would say is try and avoid. A lot of people I get this all the time. I wash my bike with Fairy Liquid. Yes, you can use detergents on your bike, but a good cleaning compound. Best cleaning compounds that I tend to use, and obviously I use them on the Kawasaki, is a thing called Muck Off. Muck Off products, really, really good. They are pricey for what they are, but you use only a very, very small amount of product when you clean your bike. So 2-bucket method, yeah, wash and wax. Try not to, if you are using a sponge, to wash your sponge off before you put it back onto the bike, because the last thing you want to be doing is taking a load of grit on that sponge and just scrubbing it all over your panels. You will scratch your panels on that. What I tend to find, and I use it on my Kawasaki, is I think the name of it, Karcher. Little mini Karcher, pressure washer, and you can set that onto a very, very fine setting just to blow the water across the bike, getting in all the pieces, but tend to avoid your wheel bearings, tend to avoid getting in close to the electrics, because you don't want to be spraying water into the electrics. Tend to sponge everything down and just give it a quick blast from about a couple of foot away with just the Karcher, just to wash it down, dry it off a couple of microfibers, let the bike dry for a couple of hours, and then what I tend to use, good coat of ACF 50, get it all over the engine, absolutely coat the engine in ACF, leave it to settle. Don't go firing the bike off, because you're gonna have smoke and loads of obviously fumes coming off everywhere. So let your ACF rest on the bike. But what I tend to find is if you're using ACF, spray it onto a microfiber cloth and use the ACF 50 on your panels as well. That will shine your panels. The only downside of this is obviously once you've done that, it's going to attract all the dirt and all the dust to your bike, because you've got basically an oil compound on your panels. But ACF 50, very, very good to do. And obviously, a quick go down the reactions on this. So, CF Gaming, good to see you in the room. Had Lexmoto on the clutch cover leak last year, still not got the replacement part. He's saying don't get a Chinese bike. I know everybody is struggling to get parts. Lexmoto is struggling to get parts. The worst one that I can say is MotoGP. Now, MotoGP are struggling to get parts for the Royal Alloy. I've got 2 Royal Alloys that customers have bought in August of last year. Now, the Royal Alloys, especially the GTs and the GP125s, prone for speedo problems, and it's a big thing across all the school forums. Royal Alloys are prone for speedo failure or the speedo sender failing. One customer has been waiting since August. We actually got the part last week. So that is how long it is taking for getting parts out from China, parts from Taiwan, parts from Korea. all of those countries out there are all struggling, and it's not down to the fact that the dealer hasn't got the parts. It's the fact that he can't get the parts from China. COVID has affected everybody across the UK. It's affected all the other countries as well. France, Germany, Italy are all struggling to get parts for their bikes. Piaggio are struggling to get parts for scooters, Vespas as well. So all the brands are all struggling to get parts in. The biggest one to struggle, believe it or not, is Kawasaki. Kawasaki cannot get parts. I'm waiting on a stop relay. So the brake switch relay for your front brake goes to the back of the bike. Could not source one from Kawasaki. I actually found one in the end from another parts company. So I'm getting me front brake switch finished this weekend. Good to see you in the room, White Rock. Yeah, good thing for your bike, snow foam. So that is another good product to use. Obviously, the snow foam fits on the Karcher. Just spray it on the bike, snow foam your bike, and then a good rinse off to get that done as well. So obviously, leave your comments in there. So very, very good to see. If you want to jump in on the Streamlab on the side, there is the link down the bottom. Come and join me in the room. You're very welcome to do so. Come and leave your opinions. Come and join me, White. You're very, very welcome. We're going to go on to a couple of other things that we're going to obviously cover today. Electric bikes. Now, obviously, there's a couple of riders in the room, and obviously that we follow on the YouTube. Now, these guys are very, very good at what they do. Now, obviously, I've ridden a Zero, I've ridden the Energica, I've tried a Zero XS. Now, a very, very good bike blogger, and you can go and follow his channel. He's in Canada, which is obviously Diesel's Hog Vlog, brother to Jim Diesel. And he done a big video on the Damon Hypersport. Now it's 200 horsepower, 200 mile an hour, 200 mile range. Is it worth the 40 grand? That's just bring in one of the other riders. Good to see you, my friend. Welcome along. Let me just see. Is your mic on?
Yeah, it should be.
You're very, very quiet there.
That's a very old laptop.
So while you're sorting yourself out, that's all right. While you're sorting yourself out, my friend, what I'm just going to say is obviously electric bikes, the future of Sets of Pendants, big Harley rider from out in the States. And
oh, hello.
So yeah, good to see you, JD. All right, let me just up my volume a little bit so I can hear everybody. That's a bit better. Right. Let me just sort out my volume here because I can't hear anybody. Right, let's see if that works. Oh, no, I've just muted. Right, try that, Jim. How can I hear you?
Well, coming through, all right, mate.
It's not coming through my headset. Let me just... I think I've plugged too many things in tonight. Right, let me switch up to my normal set. Bear with me a sec.
Roger. Let's switch to Wi-Fi.
Right, let's try that. Hopefully that is working tonight. You can all hear me? Thumbs up if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, lovely. Right, let's try that. Right, we should have some volume now. Yeah, I think I've got volume there. Yeah, we're all good. I can hear you now. That's good. Right, good to see you. Yeah, definitely. So my first electric was a Sinclair C5. Believe it or not, one of those just sold on eBay recently. I think the guy asked about 12.5 grand for it. So that was a mental amount of money. So yeah, so just to cover this, electric bikes, the future of. So we just done the ride on the Lexmoto Cypher. Good bike. Yes, pretty good. Nice little 125 motorcycle, twist and go, all good. And we had a great barrel of laughs on that. That you can actually unrestrict that by twisting the throttle, holding the front brake for about 5 seconds, and off it goes. So we had a really good time on that. The video's up as well. As for other bikes, the scooters were okay, but 30 mile an hour max. You know, do you really want to be going? I know a 50cc can only be going 30 mile an hour maximum, but do you really want to be going 30 mile an hour on a scooter when a petrol equivalent does the same? So people are like, yeah, for the extra money, is an electric scooter worth it? Now, the point being, obviously, towns and cities and communities where you've only got to travel a couple of miles to work, do you really want to be jumping in your car? Do you really want to be getting on a big bike? Do you want to be using public transport every day when you can just jump on an electric bike, take it to work, take it home and charge it? So comments in the side, you know, just let us know what you think on that. A lot of people are hyped on the electric bikes. Some people are like, no, I'm going to stick to a petrol bike. You can't beat the sound of a bike with real cans. And I actually said when I was doing the ride on the Cypher, wouldn't it be good if someone actually came up with an app? Because a lot of these bikes now have got the speakers built into the front of the bike for the Bluetooth connectivity, so you can have your GPS running, Google telling you what the next turn is. But if someone was to come up with an app, so like your 50cc scooter, if you had an app on it where you could hook your phone up to it and have the sound of a motorcycle, a scooter, or a different exhaust note, so you could change your exhaust note on the app, and as you increase your speed or decrease your speed, you've got the sound of pipes coming out the back. So, but it'd be a really, really good thing. So, you know, someone's going to cotton on to this in future, putting speakers on a bike or having tiny little speakers down the front, Bluetooth ability. So as you're riding your electric bike, you've got the sound of an exhaust tone coming out the back, and it should be a really good idea. Now, obviously, Lone Rider's just commenting. I'm gonna actually put this up on the screen. I genuinely believe 125 should be the lowest legal engine size. Get rid of 50cc's altogether, which I think is a really, really good thing. They're actually looking, if you've looked at the CBT rules, they're actually looking at increasing the size of CC in the next couple of years. Now, obviously, when I first started doing my test at 17, and I'm going back to the 80s now, you start at 16, 50cc, you could go straight from 16 to 17 and jump on a 250cc, unlimited horsepower on any 250. So I started on a Honda Dream, I went to a Super Dream, and then I went up to an RD250 and actually took my test on a Super Dream. But once you've done your test, now the thing is with CBTs and obviously moving up to the next stage of bikes, you could do straight from 250 and go to unlimited CC. So at 17, I went straight from 250 to a 900 ZX9R, had that a year, and at 18, I jumped on, I had a Z1300 Kawasaki. So I had the biggest Kawasaki that was ever made at 18. I handled it well. Never had an accident. I've had 2 crashes in 40 years of biking, but it's all down to rider experience, how you ride your bike and how you look after yourself. And obviously back then in the 70s and the 80s, a lot of riders were going straight from 250 to unlimited, wiping themselves out within 6 months. Hence why the government said there are too many motorcycle deaths happening. We're going to drop the size down to 125, half of that. We're going to limit the CC, and everybody now has got to do rider experience, which I think is a really, really, it's a good point and it's a bad point. So on the good points, yes, it's going to save motorcycle deaths, but then the bad points is how many 125 riders are just going to go absolutely balls out and as hard as they can, just to try and get as much speed out of a 125 as they can. So it's swings and roundabouts. You know, how many people that want to do this, how many people want to do that, and obviously with your courses now, you've got to do A1, A2. You're limited to a certain horsepower until a certain age, until you can step onto unlimited CC. Would it be better if the government actually bought in and said, yes, this is what we want to do. We're going to up the CC. We're going to up the horsepower. But if you want to step to a bigger CC, then you've got to do a certain riding course, or you've got to do a track day, or you've got to do an evaluation with a professional rider. If you went out and actually did a professional rider course, would it give you the ability to step up to unlimited CC, so you can go onto your Ducatis, your BMW GSs, your big Tourers, your ZZR 1400s? So that was another point that I was going to bring up tonight. And the final one we're going to do, and it's going to be this one. the worst bikes in your opinion. Now, someone's actually commented on my YouTube channel today, said, in your opinion, what is the worst bike? And I'm going to get absolutely slated from this. Missenden Flyer is going to hate me for saying this. Worst bike, in my opinion, the BMW GS. I do not like them. A lot of the older riders love the GSs. You can't fault the bike. It is a beautiful road going bike. It just cracks on, it cracks on, it cracks on. You can do thousands of miles before servicing. And they are the best, probably one of the best touring bikes out. But I just do not like the look of the BMW GS. The engines stick out the side. It's an ugly looking bike to me. It's too high. It's too heavy. It's top heavy bike. It takes a lot of handling to get it around. So I am not a huge lover of the BMW GS. Welcome back, Jim.
Welcome back. All right, RB, sorry about that. I'm having some major issues with YouTube, Wi-Fi, and doing my head in.
I'm just covering some stuff. Obviously, a lot of questions that someone asked me tonight, and I've had a lot of comments on the YouTube. Loads of people have been asking me stuff, and it would be a couple of quick ones here. So. Joker's just said to me, he said that I think 125 is a good size for me, not really at speed. So many speed cameras around, you can't really speed anyway. That's very true. And then I think possibly a CBT should 125 all round. As you said, doing a riding course to get yourself up to 250. If you remember, Jim, we're the old school, so we started on 250s and obviously stepped up to unlimited CC. But with the new CBTs and all the testing, everybody's all sort of jammed up. You know, you can't, you've got to do DAS and everything. Or would that be too complicated? I think that is a really good idea. You know, start 125, do a 250 or move up, but go out and do an experienced rider course. Now, obviously, I've been riding, 40, 50, nearly 50. I started at 5, so 52 years I've been riding on the road for about 40. But every year I will do 2 rides a year. So every 6 months I will go out with a certain CBT school in Milton Keynes. I'm not going to name the CBT school, but he knows who he is if he's watching. And I will have an evaluation. And every time, literally every time I get out with this, with Guy, I'll chuck my bike into the roundabout. Within 20 seconds of me throwing my bike into a roundabout, and he's like, will you get off your bloody front brake and stop trail braking? Yeah, I've got some very, very bad track habits. I tend to trail brake and front brake in every corner. But
I'll do that.
If you ride a sports bike, you're used to trail braking going in at the corners. Which is what they one of the things what they don't teach on, obviously, on CBT is trail braking, counter steering, and using your rear wheel to drift. Now, obviously, with the combined braking bikes, you can't rear wheel drift, but on the old school bikes, you've got the back wheel in control under your right foot. You can get a bit of drift on that back end. So it's as I say, it swings and roundabouts, and each to their own. So White Rock, I did a DAS, but I'm in my 50s. Well done, White. Yeah, so completely agree. The one thing that I was, and obviously someone's commented on it today, what is the worst bike? Well, what is the ugliest bike or the worst bike that you dislike? I'm not a lover. I know you are, Jim. You like the BMW GS. It's a great touring bike, really nice.
I like the look of them.
I think they're a really ugly bike because you've got that boxer engine that just sticks out. It's the first thing that's going to hit the deck when you go over.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and obviously, if you crack one of them side casings, that's game over. It's And another one that I really don't like, and I've actually I sat on one last week, and it was like, oh God, this is really horrible. And it was a cafe racer, and it was like drop handlebars, flat seat, and I was like, why the hell would you want to ride? It's worse.
What make was that?
It was a Gilera.
Oh, Gilera! Bloody hell!
Yeah, it was.
I ain't known them in a while.
I know, it was such an old bike, and it came in, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And it was the most. I took one look at it, and I'm like, oh God, this is the most ugliest looking. But back in the 70s and 80s, and I said to him, how much is it worth? And he went, it's worth about £4,000.
Yeah, they were big in the 70s and that, weren't they? In the 80s, Gilera.
Yeah, he's literally got about 2,000 miles on it, and I was like, it's it's not for me. You know, I said to him, it's not my cup of tea, but I think it's a really ugly bike. And he went, oh, you know, I think it's lovely. And I went, it's just not my, you know, it's the aesthetics of every bike. Some people like some bikes, some people don't like the others. So each to their own. And then the other one, obviously, we did the full speed run. The other one I've just covered tonight, Jim, was the full speed run on that little Cypher. Now that's a 50cc bike. It's a 16-year-old's bike.
I saw that. Yeah,
I actually commented in the video that you can unrestrict it, and as long as PC Plod's not behind you, you can crack 45 mile an hour out of that thing.
That's good going, now, isn't it?
It's
screaming its nuts off, isn't it?
It didn't actually. It was really good.
No?
Because it's electric, it depletes the batteries.
Oh yes, sorry, beg your pardon. Yeah.
But it didn't half go, but it takes literally seconds. Twist the throttle, hold the front brake, 5 seconds, turn the ignition on, puts it back into restrictive mode.
Yeah.
Unrestricted, about 38 to 40 miles out of the range of the batteries, or you can get about 20 if you've got it in the unrestricted mode. But if you're plodding 5 mile to work, 5 mile home, charge up overnight, job done, and no tax, no fuel, no servicing costs, nice and easy on that.
I take it that that must get up to top speed then, pretty much instantly. Then, as soon as you're twisting that, you're at your top speed, are you?
You're at your top speed. I think we timed it because if you watch the video, I'm actually counting. I think it took about 10 seconds to get it up to about 45 mile an hour, compared to if you hit a petrol twist and go or a petrol. Well, the worst one that I don't like it at all is the Lexmoto Hunter. That takes about 15 to 20 seconds to get to 30 mile an hour. It takes you 5 seconds to get it to about 10 mile an hour. And it is ungodly slow because it's a 4-speed box, but you literally have to rev the nuts off it to get it to 30 miles an hour. But obviously the twist and goes, one speed automatic gearbox straight up, about 30 mile an hour in about 10 to 12 seconds. The Cypher is literally boom, and it's there. I think we did a speed run on it in sport mode. 2.1 seconds to get you up to 30 mile an hour.
I was going to say, it should do, shouldn't it, if it's electric, isn't it? Because the torque on them is just ridiculous. The
torque on it is absolutely ridiculous. So once it gets to the 30, and then it starts climbing up to the 44. So it takes you a little bit while to get to the 44, but the 30 is instant, and then obviously it realizes that it's in unrestricted mode. But there is an app coming where you can unchip it, you can fiddle around with it. There's a huge Cypher Owners Club on Facebook. And they've been pestering me for months and months and months. Oh, can you do a full speed run? And obviously we had to get permission from Lexmoto to get the unrestricted spec on it out. But once he said to me, he said, you just twist the throttle, hold the front brake for 5 seconds, turn the ignition on, count to 5, the little red light pops up, and it's unrestricted. And I went, God, you've not got to fiddle with anything? And he went, no, throttle and front brake. And it works.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it works across the entire electric range. So the scooter does it as well. So we're going to do a full speed run on the scooter next week. But we've had the big unveiling tonight, and obviously I put it up on the Instagram that the new Aura is coming out. Now they had what they call a maxi scooter. So it's Honda Forza size. They had Chieftain last year. The Chieftain has been discontinued, and they brought out the Aura. Now this the new Aura, we saw the photo. I knew about this a week ago, and obviously I've been sworn to secrecy because Lexmoto have said up until the release date, a dealer is not allowed to mention the bike, is not allowed to mention what it looks like, what it does, blah, 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 blah. If you mention anything or drop any spoilers, you're going to lose your dealership. So we've been sworn to secrecy.
Right, okay.
Yeah, which is what we had with the LXR, hence why they sent me the LXR early, and I did the first ride test in the country. So the LXR's gone up, and I can't. Everybody that's watched that video, thank you very much. 2,500 views at the moment. So
that's good going.
That is absolutely flying, and we have sold the black and gold one sold today actually. So I'm happy it's sold, but I'm disappointed as well because I've now got to wait another 2 weeks for the next 3 to come in. And I've got 6 more customers waiting to get these LXRs. So for anybody that is into Lexmoto, phone your local dealer, lexmoto.co.uk, find a dealer, put your postcode in, click the magnifying glass, 6 nearest dealers. That one of those dealers will have the new LXRs in stock, but I will tell you now, if you can find one, slam a deposit on it, because at the moment, the pre-orders on it, they have sold 12 containers. Each container holds about 20 bikes, and they have sold 12 containers worth. The next lot are not here till July. So if you can get the new LXR, get yourself one now, because you're not going to get one till July. Same with the new Auras. The new Aura is going to be the new 125, the Euro 5 bikes, more money, but they're so much better a bike. A lot of people slated the LXR when they released the new one, saying, oh, it's going to be the same old dash, same old. All they've done is change the colours. They haven't. What they've actually done, brand new engine in it, and it's got 6-speed box on it now. Evening, Carl. Good to see you. Come and jump in the chat, mate.
So that Carl Dutz.
Yeah, Mr. Dutz is here, so come and join us in the chat, Carl. The StreamYard link is up for you, Carl, on the tube feed. So jump on that. Come and jump in the room, mate. You're very welcome to come and join us. Where was we? We were trying to get Al in. Al's disappeared out of the room. So I'm Tom. Nice to see you in the room. The LXR, new engine, new gearbox, rides. It's a totally different bike. I've got another video that I'm currently editing at the moment, which is why you can probably hear the fan whir of my computer. I've got the editor running at the same time I'm trying to do this stream.
Right.
Yeah, so you probably hear the fan whine because it's in overload at the moment. But we rode the original LXR this morning, the 2020 version.
Yeah.
And after being on the new LXR, you can tell the difference. It's like having a Tesco sandwich and a Harrods sandwich. Yeah, they both taste the same, but with the Harrods sandwich, you're getting that extra little bit of dressing, a little bit more for your money. But it's when you actually bite into it, the taste between a Tesco sandwich, it's all down to aesthetics again. So, right, no problem. Carl is at work. Lone Riders just, I'm just going to let me just jump into a couple of these questions that I've got here. So,
go for it.
Told to register themselves on the MyLex Moto part. Yeah, you get an amazing amount of information on there. Brilliant idea, Joker. We actually tell customers, so when a customer comes in to buy a bike, we give them all the paperwork. This is your Lex Moto printout. This is our copy. We do a duplicate copy, so they'll have their part in their pack with their second key and their registration and their tax. We do the second part and we talk them all through it. So these are your service intervals. This is how you look after a bike. This is what you need to do. Your link is here, MyLex Moto. Go and log on to the site. Anytime a garage will do a warranty, you will get a link on MyLex Moto that tells you that the warranty part's been ordered, and you can track where that part is coming from. You can do that as well. You can also, on the MyLex Moto app, check all the details on your bike. And we always say to people, if there's anything you want to know about it, all the technical spec, the things about the combined braking system, whether it's been checked, all on MyLex Moto. So you can go and check that out. And then he's just commented again, Lone Rider's just said, any plans to do a top speed run on the new LXR? Yes, we are doing a top speed run. He wasn't interested, but after watching your video, I'm swayed on it. We've actually got one of the moto vloggers from YouTube who lives about 10 miles from me. You can find him. It's Dizlox, so Dizzlox. Dizlox, he's a tattooist, dreadlock guy. Very, very nice man to actually chat to. He's probably one of the coolest guys out. He knows a lot of the bike bloggers in the area, does his own little YouTube channel. He rides an LXR, but his is modded to the back teeth. Go and watch some of Dizzy's stuff, but I will warn you, don't watch it with children in the room. There is adult content. He does tend to swear a lot at the car drivers. But he's got, I think it's a Black Widow can on his bike. It braps to hell. He rides that literally full bore. As I would say, he rides it like he stole it.
Right, gotcha.
So Diz has actually said to me, he said, when you get the new LXR in, once you've done your test mileage, can we go out and do a full speed run? So we're actually going to do on the local dual carriageway. Now, obviously, I am limited to 40 mile an hour because I'm running in a new bike. But what we are going to do, we're going to take off from the lights exactly the same speed and try and keep up with each other to about 45 mile an hour. And then he's going to take over with his camera and show you what the old LXR can do compared to the new one. But obviously,
Right, gotcha.
I'm limited on my mileage. Being a new bike, I can't rag that bike up to 63 or 7. They actually reckon it will do about 72 mile an hour. But Diz, very, very nice guy. Go and check out his stuff. He will just tell him RB sent you. And he will tell. Diz is the most clever guy when it comes to the LXR. He knows his bike inside and out. He knows all about it. He will tell you all about the bikes. He knows a lot of LXR owners. So Dizlox on YouTube, go check him out. DIZZLOX. In fact, I'll put in. I'm going to go and drop his link in here. So let me just find his YouTube page. So bear with me a second, and I will bring up his YouTube channel for you. He does quite a little bit of swearing, but obviously he's a tattooist, so you will get away with it. He is a really, really nice guy. So let me just bring up his channel. There we go. Copy that, and we'll drop that into the links down here. So that is Diz's channel. Go and check out Diz. He does some really, really dumb stuff. He does a lot of Patreon. Obviously, he doesn't do much because obviously he's locked down at the moment. He can't go tattooing or do his own bits and pieces. So yeah, he's buggered. But Diz is a really, really nice guy. And he was the one that did. Oh, for all of you that haven't seen it, just a quick turn around here. He actually did that for me. So I very much doubt you can see it.
Whoop, get his kit off.
Just over the shoulder. And that is the Rev Bomb tattoo.
Oh.
So I've got the full ninja across the back shoulder. So thanks very much to Diz for doing helping out with the tattoo on that. So yeah. Final couple of things that I just want to cover on tonight. And a lot of people have been saying, after I did the Harley video, are you being swayed to the dark side? Yeah, I am getting there. We actually had one of our customers that came in today, very, very well known to us, Moss. He's got about 4 bikes, and his son's got a couple of bikes as well. He's got BMW electric. He's got the I can't remember what it's called. It's I think it's a C800 or something. But it literally looks like a Honda Forza. But it's a full electric BMW. It's 13 grand electric scooter. That thing, obviously, I was in the office trying to do my paperwork, so the boss took it out. Acceleration on it, he said he's never known a bike like it for electric. It's an 80 mile an hour scooter. But it's literally 0 to 60. I think it was about 4.1. So it shifts like the proverbial. Absolutely shifts like the proverbial. But then when he went and got his second bike, and it come back, and I heard it coming from the top of the street, and it came in. I went, the only Harley that I like, and it's a Night Rod.
I had a Night Rod. They're amazing. Yep.
And if there was one Harley to sway me, it would be the Night Rod. I really do like the Night Rod.
Yeah.
So that is the one bike that I might be thinking of going to in the future when I get a little bit older and I can't get me backside over a sports bike anymore. But the Ninja is stagnant for the time being. Then obviously his son runs. He's got a Fat Boy, so he said, "I'm in Tuesday." He's Harley mad. I was like, "Oh, I'll have a look on that." But I'm starting to get tendencies now to the Harley side.
The only thing I find with them is they're just so expensive second hand. They are. That's the only thing that kind of like puts me off is if I was to get one, it's just like it's so expensive. It's like,
See,
epic.
We've got the Korean version in at the moment, which is the we bought it in from a dealer. We've got the Hyosung GV just come in, which is the 125, the Hyosung GV Aquila. Right. Very nice bike when it came out, but they were about $4.5 grand for a 125. Now that's a Korean bike, but it was a good bike when it sold. Now there was a big hoo-ha. And a lot of people said, is that why Hyosung basically dropped out of the UK?
Yeah.
Due to an issue with their 650 Aguila. Let me just see if I can find this on here. I'm just going to pop a photo up of this. So let me just see. Some GV 650. There it is. All right. Let me just get an image up of this. There we go. So I'm just going to bring this up. Let me just go back onto my StreamYard, share the page. Oh, share screen. We'll go to the AVG. There we go. So we're just going to share that up. If you just check out that photo on the right. I've lost you, Jim. Where you gone? Oh, did I drop you out?
So I switched to my computer. My computer's finally working. So.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So that is the Hyosung Aguila 650.
Yes, I've seen these. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me what it. Tell me what you think it reminds you of.
That reminds me. It looks a little bit like a night rod.
Yeah.
It also reminds me of one of the Japanese. I want to say Suzuki Marauder or whatever.
Yeah.
But it definitely looks like a night rod. But that's the Suzuki engine, isn't it? The 650.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one they stick in the SV 650?
Yeah, it's the very, very similar engine. Now, what happened with that? And there was a big hoo-ha over what went on in Korea. Harley actually took Hyosung to court in America.
Did they? All right.
Yeah, because it's a pure copy of the night rod.
There you go.
The Korean manager of Hyosung, or the Korean owner of Hyosung, turned up in court in New York to meet Harley Davidson, and the judge went, right, so you've copied the American branding under blah blah trade's description. You're not allowed to copy Harley. And the owner of Hyosung turned around. He went, it's not. It's our bike. It's not a Harley engine. It's a Korean engine in it with Chinese parts in it. Yes, it looks like your bike, but it's not. And he went, right. And they literally broke it down to the bare frame. And he said, well, the frame's exactly the same. And they turned around and went, no, because we've changed the fork angle by 4 degrees.
Oh, cheeky, isn't it?
They got away with it, and it got thrown out of court in America. And Harley ended up with egg on their faces. So that was the other. I can't deny
raging.
It's gospel, but that is according to what. But obviously, the GV 650 was one of the biggest selling cruisers, and if you can get hold of a Hyosung these days, they are going for stupid money. The GV 650, when you used to buy them, they were about, I think, 5,995. If you look on eBay now, there's a 5-year-old one on there for sale, and he wants $5,000.
So they get their money. That's the second-hand market, though, isn't it? It's pretty good at the minute.
We've just sold the GV 125 today. We knocked him 50 quid off because obviously we could sell that bike over and over again. Brand new, they were 3,995. We've just actually sold a 4-year-old bike out for 2.5. But it's only done 1,100 miles, and it literally looks like it's come out of a showroom. It's shiny. There's no rust. There's no degradation on it. Customers because he was looking at Lexmodo Michigan, and then I showed him the GV, and he went. I said, it's so much better of a bike. It's a V-twin compared to a single-cylinder 125. You're going to get the grunt. You're going to get the torque. You're going to get the speed quicker. And it's a wider, bigger bar. So you're going to get the Harley-esque feel. So, he's happy he's walked away with that one today. So, happy days for us.
I've got a question for you. Sorry, mate. I keep getting in my feed when I'm looking on eBay. I think it's the Sinis Trek, the venture bike.
Yeah.
Which is, I think it's just under a 400cc in it. I think it's 380. Just to see what your take on it is.
Sinis
compared to, I think Terrain, that's it, compared with the Royal Enfield Himalaya.
Yeah.
So the Sinis got like a LCD display and stuff on it, like a Gucci, like top of the range bike. What's your take on that?
Sinis, good brand. Obviously, Royal Enfield is very, very known for knocking out 100% perfect every time. With the Sinis, you'll tend to find it's a bit hit and miss. Some people love them. It's like Marmite. Some people love them. Some people hate them. Yes, they have had issues with certain parts on the Cineses, but normally the terrains are pretty good at what they do. So yeah, Cinis is a good seller in the UK for Chinese bikes.
They're about the same price as a Himalaya, and it was just like you could get yourself a brand new. If you wanted like a cheap second-hand, second
we're still inquiring because we are looking at the, to become or try to get into the Cinis market, but that is in the pipeline. We're quite happy with Lexmoto at the moment. We do a lot, and I can't fault the guys at Lexmoto. I've had 2 little issues today with certain bikes that have come in. I've been on the database or on the parts store, because obviously when you put a warranty claim in, you can go online, click on the part that you need, click order, and you get a warranty number. It comes out to you. Now 9 times out of 10 at the moment with COVID, parts are on back order, can't get hold of the parts. Now we've had one scooter, and there's a couple of videos up of it trying to make the Titan fail. The scooter that we've got, if you go back, roll back trying to make a Lexmoto Titan fail. So the customer rides about 40 miles a day, so 40 miles to work, 40 miles home, 40 miles. So he's doing around about 40 minutes, 45 minutes to get to work. 9 times out of 10 he's fine, and the other times the bike will just get hot, cut out, and he doesn't know why. And then he has to get recovery. It comes into us and it starts on the button first time. So we've done all the normal things, changed the plug, adjusted the valves, took it out. I've road tested it to the hill absolutely hard twice. No issue. Never ever failed on me. He had it back 2 days later, bike cuts out home and fails again. Okay, get it back to us. So obviously we're chatting with the techs and the boss of the unit. Right, we're going to go in, we're going to change the ECU, we're going to change the EFI, we're going to change the fuel pump, we're going to change the throttle position. We've literally ordered every part. So we've put all the orders in. No fuel pump. Phoned up Lexmoto. Fuel pump is not available until the end of April, beginning of May. Customer doesn't want to hear that. Customer wants his bike now. I've got a couple of really good guys at Lexmoto I can speak to. So I've obviously spoken to him today. And he said to me, he said, do you know what I'll do? I'll go down. I'll try and source the fuel pump. If not, I will find you one. And he actually found me one that's got a reverse float bolt. So the float bolt's the opposite way round. Still the same car, just got a reverse float bolt. And he said, try this. I'm going to send you a brand new one. I've robbed off a bike. If it works, it works. If not, I'm going to go down in the warehouse and rob it off a new bike for you.
I was going to say, do that.
That is how good the parts team are when you are desperate to get a part. But obviously, you're getting a lot of dealers that are getting a bike in. Oh, I could do with an extra indicator, or I've done this or that. Oh, can you get some extra bits? Put a warranty claim in when there's no warranty claim running, just so you can get the part and bang it on eBay and make a bit of money out of it. So you get your you get your unscrupulous dealers every now and then, which is why obviously they say now if you've got a warranty order, you have to take a photo of the bike, you have to take a photo of the registration, you've got to take a photo of the issue. Because you are getting obviously the odd dealer that does pull a crafty just to get a few extra parts. Like everybody does. But I've got a really good rapport with the guys at Lexmoto, because obviously I texted them and I've said to them, I've done this LXR ride. Thanks for getting the bike out early. I've done this LXR ride. They've actually shared it out for me, and I spoke to one of the guys today. He said, you realise your video's at 2,500 views? And I went, yeah. He said, have you noticed the other dealers around the UK are using your video? And I went, so it doesn't really. If people want to share my video, and use it for promoting the LXR, at the end of the day, it's promoting the brand. I'm not bothered. So as long as we're pushing the brand, it's the same as
which is good.
Which is what Spicy does. So obviously Spicy 110 goes out and does his Triumph stuff. He's not just doing it for himself. The other Triumph dealers are like, oh yeah, check out this bike blogger. Spicy's ridden. So happy days, if you want to push the product. But it's 50-50. I tend to be very unbiased with my views on Lexmoto. The first LXR that come out, Yes, it had a huge amount of electrical problems, and it was found that the first ignition locks were getting water ingress in the top. Water was running down, straight on the back of the connectors. The clocks were failing. It was cutting out. You couldn't get any indicators up. You couldn't get your lights up. The bike wouldn't start. Solved very, very quickly. And then they had to get onto the factory and obviously say the lock sets are crap. Can we? And they came out with what they call the Generation 2 lock set. A lot of bikes went back to dealers under warranty to have the lock sets changed up. A couple of the Gen 2 locks did fail, and we changed them up again. A lot of dealers changed up those Gen 2 locks, and it was actually solved. And what they found out was a lot of the newbies, they were going on the forum pages and saying, "Oh, I'm getting water ingress into my ignition barrel. What should I do?" And everyone was saying, "Squirt WD-40 straight down the ignition barrel." Worst thing you can do. Put in any oil.
I was going to say.
Yeah, it's
going to bugger it right up, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to bugger your ignition system right up. Never ever put anything liquid down, unless it's electrical contact cleaner, down in the ignition barrel. I will see you later, Carl. Good to see you. Good to see you as well, White. So happy days, my friends. The one thing that we always say, and people go, really? Vaseline. Vaseline works wonders.
Oh, yeah, Vaseline. Yeah.
Across the top of your ignition barrel.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Greases your key as it goes in, and it just gives you that little waterproof seal around the top of the ignition lock. But I use Vaseline all the time for the ignition.
Yeah.
I
was going to say.
Yeah, but that is one of the issues that they had with them. They've had a lot of like Royal Alloys. So the Royal Alloy scooters again. I was saying about this earlier. They had a huge issue with the speedos cutting out. The speedo sender's not working. There's a big thing if you have to go onto the forum, and there's a huge forum out there for anybody that's into scooters called scooterlabs.com. Go on to Scooter Labs, look at the war between Royal Alloy and Scamadi. Exactly the same bike, near enough. The two owners actually fell out and did their own two brands. So you had Royal Alloy, you had Scamadi. Some people like Royal Alloy, some people like Scamadi, and they tend to slag each other off left, right, and centre. But the Royal Alloys had huge issues with the speedos, the speedo tenders. They sorted that out within about 6 months. But then obviously the people that had issues with their speedos, and we're going back to last August now, are still waiting for speedos to come. Hence due to COVID,
that's not good.
With the COVID, and obviously trying to get parts out of Taiwan, Korea, and China. And obviously we have now backed up again by about another week or so due to container ship in the Suez.
I was just about to say that.
That's not helped at all. So we're back about a week and a half now getting containers across to us in the UK. But the next shipment is on the way. Should have been here a week ago, and obviously it's stuck in the Suez Canal waiting for this container ship to move.
Yeah, get out of the way. They should have torpedoed it.
Quick one for Joker. Yeah, very, very good stuff. So switch cleaner is the best stuff, or air duster to blow any rubbish out. So do not, under any circumstances, stick WD-40, ACF 50 down in the ignition barrel. It's the worst thing you do. It's an electrical connection. It's metal to metal, and you need to make a metal to metal connection. If you've got any type of stuff in the way, it is not going to do it any good. I think Diesel's Hog did a thing with his LEDs. That special.
Brad,
he did a thing when he did his LEDs on his Harley of putting that paste on, which is an electrical paste.
Yeah.
So that is another good stuff to use. So obviously you can smear a bit of that across the top, and that will give you a nice electrical contact on it. But under no circumstances put any type of oil, WD-40, even engine. And then the one we had the other day as well, someone actually commented to me, he said, "What is the best stuff to lube your chain with?" Chain lube. He said, He said, would it work if I used old motor oil? No, Absolutely not. Do not,
Yeah.
under any circumstances, put old motor. It'll work.
I've heard that. I've heard that. Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
work to get you through very, very quickly, just to lube your chain
Yeah.
up. But if you consider that spray grease chain lube is a very, very heavy consistency, it's basically like if you can imagine flour dough or your flour paste, and you're smearing that on your chain. It's a very heavy consistency. As the chain is traveling, that chain is traveling at 5,000-6,000 times a minute around those sprockets. Whatever is on there, centrifugal force is going to throw it out. So it's going to come off the chain. If you've got motor oil on a chain, which is a very, very light, literally like water, that chain is going to be flicking it off. The first thing it's going to come in contact with is the inside of your tyre. And the last thing you want to be doing is going around the corner when you've got oil all across the back of your tyre.
Oh, God, yeah. Worst thing you can do, yeah.
The worst thing to do. So that's the one joke. Thank you very much for that, Joker. That was the stuff I was trying to think of. Contact paste or electrical. Yeah, it's electrical mechanical engineer. So, yeah, it's contact paste. So that is the stuff, sort that out. That was what Brad was on about to use. If you've not seen Diesel's Hog Vlog, it's a long video, but go and watch Brad on his Harley changing his whole thing up to LED, and he does it really, really. It's not a rush job. He really does take his time. He takes a lot of care on that Harley. I actually sat here with about 4 cups of coffee, pours it coffee. But I managed to watch his video. So, Diesel's Hog Vlog. So, friend of this guy over here, Mr. Diesel.
Yep.
Yeah,
right. 2 diesels for one.
Diesel Hog Vlog. So check him out. And the other one, he says he obviously uses WD chain wax as well. So WD-40 chain wax is really good. Hello, just got here. Hi, Saif. Good to see you in the room. Could you give me some advice on small things I can maintain my LXR? Yeah, make sure you're riding it at the correct speed, that you've run it incorrectly. So for those of you who have just joined us, Lexmoto's running in speed, 40 mile an hour, top of 45, first 500 kilometers, 311 miles. Service, that first lot of engine oil that you've got in the bike is running in oil. It's a very, very light consistency to run the bike in. Get your bike serviced, get an oil change done. Once you've had your oil change done at 5k 311, then you're good to go 50 mile an hour, take you to 932 or 1500 kilometers. Second service, change of engine oil again, every bolts check, then you're good to go to full speed. Now, the thing to do, obviously, if you're looking to keep the bike clean, if it gets wet, dry the damn thing off. If it's outside, get it under a cover. The worst thing that you can put on any bike, new or old, whether it's Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Honda, or a cheap Chinese brand, is to get water on your bike. It's the first thing that's going to rot it. Secondly, get it washed off. My bike, obviously, Jim knows my bike, he's seen it.
Yeah.
I've got 96 Kawasaki set outside. It is not under a cover. It sits in the open 365 days a year. It gets rained on, snowed on, all the crap lands on it, the birds poop on it. That bike comes out every Sunday religiously. It gets cleaned, it gets washed, it gets dried off. And then the last thing I do before it goes to bed at night, it has a coat of ACF 50 anti-corrosion spray. You can find this on Google. If you type in ACF 50 on eBay, about 18 quid a can. I buy mine in a bottle with a plant spray bottle, spray it all over the bike. I tend to spray some on a microfiber, wipe my panels off, wipe all my clocks, wipe the switch gear with ACF 50, just to keep a nice sheen on it. With an oil-based product, the water will hit it and run off. So it works great on panels. On your engine, it's going to stop all the rusting, and it works great on exhaust pipes. It does burn off, and everyone says, why do you put ACF 50 on the exhaust pipe? It will burn off, but it will put a layer of coating on that bike. And if you put it onto your exhaust every couple of days, it just inhibits the rust. So once a week, give your bike a wash, give it a clean. The worst thing on your bike is road dirt and road salt, because that will rot your bike quicker than anything in the world. So get it clean, keep it maintained, look after it. And what I always say with every rider, before you ride, and I know this guy does it every time he rides out over here, we do a thing called a walk round. So the first thing we're going to do while we're putting our helmet on or putting our gloves on, we're going to start the bike, fire it up, leave it ticking over for about 5 minutes, We're going to start from the front of the bike and we're going to walk around. I tend to walk from the front of the bike in a clockwise direction all the way around. I'm going to walk around the bike. I'm going to look at my discs. I'm going to check my rear brakes there. I've got some brake pressure on it. Check my rear brake wallet, hold the rear brake down, check I've got a brake light, walk round the back, check my rear disc, look for any bolts that are loose, any panel bolts coming out, round the back of the bike, check the tail, up the other side, check my chain tension, down the other side of the bike, have I got oil in my sight window, is it flowing through my sight window as the bike's ticking over?
Yeah.
I've already checked the oil level before I've moved off. Then up, and I'm going to go on the controls, left indicator, right indicator, main beam, dip beam, horn, and then obviously just check that everything's working, clutch, brake, boom. That literally, if you get used to it, that walk round you can do in 60 seconds. That walk round every morning will save your life. And we've had nightmare stories before where people have gone down the road, they've bought a brand new bike. Now, with brand new bikes, vibration, bolts do come loose. So do your bolt checks on a daily basis before you ride every day. We've had nightmare stories where a disc bolt's come out. The guy's been riding down the road, disc bolt's worked its way out, and all of a sudden it's caught the caliper, smashed the caliper up, and the caliper's gone into the back wheel and locked that back wheel up at 40 mile an hour. So that quick bolt check, walking around your bike, doing your daily regime, is going to save your life. There's nothing worse than I tell you, locking the back wheel up at speed. And I've been there. I've thrown a chain on my bike at 60 mile an hour. Had a brand new chain on it, and it was a press chain. We've done it up. One of the links on it, we hadn't pressed up that press link enough, and it threw the clip out, and we dropped the chain at 60 mile an hour and I locked back wheel up. Been there, done it, had the t-shirt. That is fill your pants moment. So
that's brown pants time. That is
brown pants time. So walk around your bike, do your daily checks every day, and make sure that you look after your bike. Cleaning regime. If you look after your bike, it's going to look after you. If you're going to take it out, you're going to rag it straight out the box, and all you want to know about is just how quick I can keep up with my mates. I'm 17. I want to show off. I want to pop wheelies. I want to brag down the road at 70 mile an hour. Your bike's going to last you 5 minutes. Look after it. You're going to be as old as us guys, still riding the same bike week after week after week. A couple of quick ones in here. So let me just bring this one. Our motive. As a newbie reading across the internet, I found common theme is second owners having issues, obviously no warranty, and immediately slating the. Yeah, so just to let you know on that one, Al, the warranty with Lexmoto stays with the original owner, unfortunately. But what you tend to find, and I always say, if you're going to go for a cheap Chinese bike, check out the previous history. Look at the age of the owner, because most 18-year-olds that are getting rid of a Lexmoto have ragged the thing out of the box. Unless you've got a full service history, you've got all the details of the bike. Listen to the bike. You can tell loads and loads by just listening to that engine tone. If it sounds like it's got a bag of spanners in it, walk away. Now, obviously, 125s should have a nice steady rumble to it. It shouldn't be tapping. It shouldn't be clicking like a mad thing unless they've not done the tappets on it. But you should be doing your tappets on at least every third service. So every 3 services, get it in, get your tappets adjusted and checking it. Now, obviously, as you move up to the bigger bikes, like me and him have got over here, what you tend to find is, I don't know how yours sounds in the morning, Jim, when you fire it, but you've heard me start the Kawasaki up.
Yeah.
Mine runs like a bag of nails. You would think it's about ready to blow. It runs tappety, but once she gets hot and she comes online, 5 minutes down the road, that engine purrs. I've got my tolerance is so tight. When you actually fire it up, my tappets chatter. But that is a simple reason. It is I'm running a very, very high spec mill in my bike. So someone actually commented the other day, why does your bike only do 21 to the gallon? The standard Kawasaki jets in those cars are 180s and 190s. I am running 200, 210s.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so, and then he said to me, he said, yeah, but you're overfueling the bike, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, but I've had the carbs balanced. And the fact is that I am running a debaffled can, which is putting less back pressure on the engine. So my jets are actually balanced to the exhaust. Because when we had the debaffled exhaust on, it run like a bag of crap. So we went for the bigger jets. We've had it all checked and dynoed, and so hence the reason why I'm running oversized jets and a debaffled can. My choice, I like a loud pipe. But I also like to be able, the reason being for bigger jets is once you get to about 80 mile an hour, if you hit the throttle at 80, it lags. If you've on the 200 jets, it will take off like a scolding.
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's just said it's just a quick one here. Just make sure it's been dealer service, not done by the owner. Yeah. See a lot of people post about doing their own services on a brand new, but we actually had a post the other day, and it was a hilarious one. I think that whoever was on the admin for the Lexmoto Owners UK deleted the post after about the 200th comment. I'm just looking to do my own service. Bought my own bike. I've just been down to Halfords. Which engine oil do I put in it? Do I put a hypergrade motor oil in, or do I put the semi-synthetic for car in my bike?
Oh my god!
Exactly. Motor oil for cars goes in a car. Motor oil for bike goes in a bike. You cannot put car oil in a motorcycle and vice versa. Two totally different oils.
Yeah, got to put the right oil in.
Yeah, so most Lexmotos you'll find they're either a 1040 semi-synthetic or a fully synthetic. If it comes into us, we tend to only use one brand of oil, and we will use, and I swear by the product, Liqui Moly or Motul. So that's
Motul.
Yeah, so we'll either use Motul or we use Liqui Moly.
Yeah.
It'll be a 1040 or a 530, and it'll be a semi-synthetic or a fully synthetic. But before the technician even works on your bike, he's going to be on the computer. He's going to pull the tech spec for it. He's going to look at what the oil is, how many litres go in it. Most Lexmotos take around about a litre to about 1.1 litres in the bike. So that's what they're going to do and check every time. If you've got a filter on your bike, they'll change the filter. If it's just a little sieve in it, they're going to take the sieve out, give it a clean with some brake cleaner, wash it off, dry it off, put it back in the bike, and your sieve is good to go. So that's how you do an oil change on your bike. If you happen to run big bike like me and him do, I tend to run, and I'm a bit stupid as to why I do it, because I don't need to put this oil on my bike. I run Motul 3000 in mine, which is the bright green stuff, which is about £33 a litre. You don't need it. Motul 3000 is designed for track bikes. I tend to find if I run Motul 3000 in mine, the engine stays a lot cooler.
Yes.
But, yeah, it's my average service. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, but you spend so much on your service." My last service on my bike was £600. Simple fees and being there was 4 litres of Motul 3000 in there at 33 a litre, and 4 Iridium plugs cost me £32 each.
Yes, the plugs, isn't it? The plugs are that,
And then you're looking at fairing removal, tank removal, to get to the air filter, to get to the plugs. You've got to remember, a technician is on that bike. It's going to take him at least an hour and a half to get the tank off and the fairings off, put them in safe storage to get back on your bike, and then he's got to do the whole lot in reverse. So anybody that thinks, oh, you can do a big bike service in a couple of hours, you're having a joke, mate. So unless they're rushing the job and there's 3 or 4 people working on it, it's not a Polish car wash. But always make sure you check your dealer out. Our average bike service on a 125, you're looking around about an hour. We always say don't turn up until we call you, but you're looking around about an average of about an hour to get a service done, and that is a full bolt check. What we tend to do, ride test before, bolt check, do the engine oil and filter change, check all the functions of the bike, adjust the clutch, check all the sprockets, check the chain, and then we go back into the bike and do a final ride test signed off by 2 mechanics. So a little bit OTT about what we do, but our technicians that we have, obviously I work with, are very, very good, and they do know their bikes. Very, very clever at what they do. We're going to start wrapping up soon, because obviously we've been on here for, I think, an hour and 20 minutes at the moment. So thank you very much for everyone that's coming in. Don't forget, over here, check out this guy. Finally Friday. So a couple more days to go to Finally Friday.
Oh, that comes out,
What? Anything good you've got coming up this week, Jim?
No, I don't know. No, not really. I haven't got much going on at all, to be honest. It's quite calm. It's quite slow, very, very slow. I've got a couple of videos in the pipeline.
Did enjoy your hyperspeed one. That was quite good.
Oh yeah, I done another one of those tonight. Yeah. Yeah, cheers.
Before he goes, obviously, I've got video. Try and get this up tonight, which was the run on the LXR, the 2020 version.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Cole's video, I was quite amazed. He said, I've dropped you a comment. And I'm like, all right. He goes on about me for about 2 minutes on his latest ride. He's like getting his BMW.
Yeah.
I think he went off to have a BMW service, and he went, what should I expect on my service from BMW? And I went, you need this, 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 and this. And don't expect to pay over 200 quid for it. So he managed to get his bike in and serviced and job done. But yeah, that's another thing for obviously for all your bikers out there, whether you're 125 or big bikes, check out the prices before you go to a dealer. What you're getting, the bang for your buck. So booking in for a service, when you phone the garage, can I get my bike in for a service? Yes, mate, it's 400 quid. Right, what are you getting for your 400 quid? Is it just going to change your oil and filter? Because I certainly would want to change my oil and filter for 400. Average, and these are just a couple of prices of what we do. So round about 150 for a big bike service, oil and filter. And then obviously you're looking at things like extra labour time for panel removal, tank removal, extras if you're putting standard L filters in or if you're putting K&Ns in. I don't tend to bother with K&N filters, very, very overhyped. A standard air filter will do the job. Unless you're running the sports performance engine, then go for the K&Ns, which you're getting on the Harleys, you're getting on your big sports bikes, but standard filters are good. Make sure you're getting the right grade of oil. That is your number one priority.
Yeah.
So, are they buying the cheapest oil in a 50-litre barrel and just chucking it in a container that says Motul, or a lot of garages do that. Oh yeah, we're using Motul, mate. And then you look at the can, and it's like covered in black, and it's like 6 months old. So are they getting it out of a big barrel and just farming it into the into another one? So yeah, just check what oil they are putting in your bike for a start. Check what plugs you're using. Are they putting in NGKs, or are they just using a cheap Chinese equivalent? Plug wise, I would always say NGK or Bosch. I tend to go NGK every time. The ones I use are, I think, CR9 EIAs, which are Iridium equivalent. So they're very, very good plugs. So go with the Bosch or the NGKs on those. And then once again, all your chain lubes, what are they using to lube your chain up? Are they using a good chain lube? But always check out, ask the dealer. Don't be afraid to ask. Say, look, if I'm spending this amount of money, mate, what are you giving me for my money? No dealer is going to be afraid to say, come on in the workshop, come and have a look round. Let's show you what we do on a bike service. We're going to do this, A, B, C, D, and it's going to cost you X, Y, and Z. Most dealers will be quite happy. If the guy's going to go, oh, I'm telling you that, mate, off elsewhere, then go elsewhere. If he's not interested in telling you what he wants for his money, and obviously with COVID, times are tight. Everybody's after that extra bang for the buck. Check out what you're getting for your money. But obviously check out the history. The best way to check out any garage, and I always say, or check out any person, Google. Google is a wonderful thing. Because there are things called, you can do reviews. So check out the reviews of a garage. What are the customers saying? Because a customer, if a customer's had a bad experience, he is going to be the first one to bang on Google and, I didn't like you. You get your keyboard warriors. The good ones tend not to mention it. It tends to be word of mouth, but the ones that have a bad service are always going to be the first ones on the keyboard. And the quickest way to resolve it is to pick up the phone. Sorry, we heard you had a bad service. How can we resolve the matter? Would you like to come in? Would you like a bit of discount on your next service? Or is there anything you can do for it? A good garage will always try and better themselves by trying to offer a better customer service, which is what we do. Hence why, we've got such a good name for ourselves, 5-star rating on Facebook. This is one for you, Jim. I've got to tell you this because I was in hysterics today. Guy phoned up to buy a bike today. He said, I'm looking at the new LXR. Yeah, I've got one in stock. What are you looking at? Oh, I want the black and gold one. I've seen it on YouTube. And I went, oh, that's good. So you've obviously seen the video. This is the price. And he went, hang on, I recognise your voice. And I went, all right, are you on YouTube? And I went, yeah, I I do the odd video here and there on YouTube. And he went, is your name Rev Bomb? And I went, yeah, it is actually. And he went, oh my God. And in the background, he's covered his hand over the phone. He went, Mum, I've got Rev Bomb on the phone.
Celebrity. Eh?
I was like, no, I'm just a bike blogger, mate. I'm just a bike blogger. And he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm talking to Rev Bomb. And I went, yeah. I said, well, are you coming down to view the bike? Oh, can I come down? Can I meet you? Of course you can. I'm a human being. And
Get in there, it's all right.
It's like, oh my God, Mum, I'm gonna meet Rev Bomb. Boss is there, and he's like,
yeah. What a celebrity. We've got a big time celebrity in the shop.
I said to him, I'm not a huge blogger. I said, I've only got like 1,000 and a bit followers. And, I'm not like Mr. Fire or Jordanian. I said, I'm just a guy that does bike videos and quite happy to make bike videos. I'm not the super god that everybody makes out. You get so many people that think they're God's gift to women. And like, no, I said, I just ride bikes. I enjoy bikes. And that's what I do. So. Quick one from Maxty. Are the first 2 Lex Motor services free? No. It tends to go dealer to dealer. If you've bought your bike from a Lex Motor dealer, some dealers are different. Some will offer you a free service, or it might even offer you the first couple of services free of charge. But as I say, check out what they are doing on that first service. Is it going to be just an oil and filter change? What we tend to do is a very flat rate, and it's not just the Lex Moto range, it goes right across all 125s. We charge £99.50. That includes your VAT. That is for an hour's service with us. That's an oil and filter change, 90-point bolt check, clean and adjust the chain, check your lights, check all your electrical functions, check all your braking system, check the engine performance, check absolutely everything, and a ride test before and a ride test after. That's why it takes us an hour. We charge £99.50. It varies from dealer to dealer. I've heard dealers charging £60 for an oil and filter change. I've had one, and he was in Manchester, can't name the dealer. He went there and he had a bolt check and an oil and filter change, and they charged him £140.
Oh, no.
And that is robbery. That is daylight robbery. You wouldn't even get that if you took your top of the range BMW GS for an oil and filter change.
Yeah.
They're going to be. I think the last oil and filter change a friend of mine had done at BMWs, and it was literally oil and filter. I've done 600 miles in a year. I just want the oil and filter change. Yeah. They charged him, I think it was £104.72 or something stupid.
Yeah.
He said, oh, that's with the VAT and the price of the oil. And they charged him for the oil filter as well. He said, that's your oil, that's your filter. He said, the bike was literally in for 25 minutes. That's how long it takes to change the oil on a GS. It's not very quick. But you certainly shouldn't be paying £140 for a first or second services. Quick one from Whoppy before I go tonight. RB, have Lex Moto brought out a top box solution for the Aura? I can't say at the moment, but if you've seen the unveil for the new Aura, as I say, can't reveal it yet. The Aura is out. Yes, the new Euro 5's coming. I've got one coming in a week's time. New ride test coming up on that one, so it's going to be the first one in the country again. Watch this space for the top box. I have spoke to the parts department at Lex Moto because our last customer last year that bought the Aura wanted a top box solution. Yes is the answer. There is one in the pipeline, but watch this space coming soon. And that, I can't say any more on that, but it is in the pipeline. What mileage do you need the Lex Moto services at? Your first service, 500 kilometers, 311 miles. It will be in your My Lex Moto. Pop into your My Lex Moto if you've been given the link, or it will be on the paperwork that you should have had when you signed your bike off at the dealers. 311 miles, 500 k is your first service. Next service is 1500 k, 932, and then it's 3000, 3000, 3000, 3000 kms. So first two come around pretty quick. The others are all 3,000 kilometre services. But obviously check. You should have a Lex Moto pack, and that will have all your details on there. Yeah, it's what sold me on going with it. Thank you very much. So thank you very much for that one, Al. I'm going to start signing off. I've got the wife saying, "Come on, you should be up." I've got another 5 o'clock start in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm riding two more bikes tomorrow. So the Daytona has gone. That went today. So I'm out riding the Daytona in the morning.
Yep.
We should be giving that a nice 90 mile. Did I say 90 mile an hour? 70 mile an hour run with a bit of clock blaring going on. So we're going to ride that to the customer, give it a full speed test on that. That threw an engine light, and we couldn't figure out why. Because it's been stood in the showroom for quite a while, we fired it up and it threw an engine light. I'm like, oh. Turned out it was actually the exhaust valve. You've got an electronic exhaust valve, so it just got
you get that with your cars. Yeah.
So it's got two little cables that just open the butterflies on that exhaust just to give you a full flow because it's got a set of arrow bands on it. We've cleaned that up, done a scan on it. It's all good. So I'm out to give that a run in the morning. I'm also out and I'm having a run on a 50cc Echo. So I should be out on a 30 mile an hour twist and go Echo, the final ride on that one before it goes to the customer. A couple of videos going up, and obviously the LXR is, as you hear, whirring away on the computer. So we'll get that one out tonight. Great to see you both. Yeah, thanks very much, Joker. Much appreciated. Don't forget, follow this guy. Finally Friday.
Cheers.
The video is up this Friday, so go and watch Jim. Subscribe to his channel, Jim Diesel, and obviously, if you are wondering all the bikers that we follow, comments down below. There's a huge list of all the bike bloggers, or you can go onto my channel, check out all the bike bloggers that are there. Until then, in the usual RB tone, be well, ride safe, and as always, it's a big goodbye from me.
See you later.